Hey y'all, thanks for coming by. So James Bond's in the news lately. They're talking about having a black James Bond, and Daniel Craig was in an interview and got misquoted of him saying he doesn't think there should be a black James Bond, when his quote is something along the lines of, why do they have to call it James Bond? You can have a black agent, something like that. But regardless of that, there has been a lot of backlash that I've seen, but most notably, the thing I saw this morning was Steven Crowder. Him and on his Louder with Crowder show, they were getting into it, and some of the jokes, or jokes, if you can call them that they were making, I had a hard time trying to figure out what the punchline is. It seems like a lot of these jokes about a black James Bond are only racially charged. There was one of them who said something along the lines of, like, gave a scenario where the agent was supposed to meet somebody at a certain time and he's late. And that was it. That was the joke. They all laughed over it. And, stereotypes about, racial minorities and things like that. Because he's black, he's late. Something about, you turn my Ferragamos into a phone. What is this? As if a secret agent would have a complaint about his tech. But it's a complaint because he's black. That's what you imagine a black person would complain about. I guess. I don't really get it. I don't have an issue with edgy comedy. Jokes, humor in general. I think it's a really good way for people to try and, like, understand things better. You can learn something at any time, but if you can learn something and laugh about it, it might make it easier for you to remember or understand, just a way for you to connect it back to your personal life. But if your jokes are if the punchline is a stereotype and only a stereotype, I just don't get it. Maybe I'm alone in this, because I notice a lot of those, almost all of his videos have a very high ratio of likes to dislikes. So it's doing something for somebody, but I just don't know if it's making people laugh or it's making people feel better about having their biases, because, man on TV who makes a lot of money says the same things that I think in my own heart of hearts. If your entire basis on your comedy is stereotyping or racially charged or sexually charged things, why? Why? If it's, I get being edgy, like, sure, push the envelope, make people think, make people question their ideas and stuff like that. But if the joke is only, black people slow, black people can't tell time, or, woman bad, woman can't be secret agent, things like that, where's your joke? There's plenty of ways you can tell sexually charged jokes or jokes about sexuality and gender and it not be offensive to anybody. I think my favorite example is probably the non-binary prospector who went out west because there was gold in them there hills. You can tell jokes about sensitive subjects and not be rude about it. You don't have to just immediately undercut someone or go to the worst of stereotypes for comedic effect. With all that being said, though, why are people upset about a black James Bond? Y'all know there are black people in England, right? Like, black people are everywhere. That's not just like an America thing. That's not just like an Africa thing. Black people live all over the world. Why couldn't a black person be a secret agent for MI6? I don't get it. Maybe y'all can help me understand it. Let me know how you feel about Black James Bond. I'm not really a big spy movie person. I like the music from it, but they're weird for me to follow. But hey, if you think there's a reason Bond should be a white guy? Hey, let me know.